Let me ask you something. Have you ever looked in the mirror and felt like you're becoming someone you don't even recognize? Not in a bad way, but in a powerful, almost divine way. Like you're stepping into a version of yourself that was always hidden inside. Welcome to the chosen path. This isn't just another video. This is a transformation, a revelation, a wake-up call for your soul. Today, you're going to learn truths about yourself that you've felt, but never fully understood. By the end of this video, you'll realize you're not who you were, and you'll never be the same again. Don't just watch, feel, reflect, awaken, because what's coming next might just change everything. Let's begin. There comes a moment in your journey when you can no longer relate to who you once were. The things that used to matter no longer hold power over you. You begin to realize that your old self was built on survival, not purpose. And now, as the layers fall away, you're left face to face with something unfamiliar. Your true identity awakening from within. It's not that you're changing. It's that you're finally becoming. It feels strange, doesn't it? The music you used to love doesn't hit the same. The people who once made you feel seen now feel like strangers. You're craving depth, silence, and solitude. That's not depression. It's spiritual detachment. The old version of you is collapsing, and the more you resist this death, the more painful the rebirth becomes. You're not breaking down. You're breaking free. Your spirit is starting to crave what your ego used to fear. Truth, authenticity, and alignment. You are no longer okay with fake conversations, empty friendships, or pleasing people who never saw your worth. That version of you, the people-pleaser, the overthinker, the self-doubter, is being stripped away. And underneath all of that is someone fierce, focused, and free. What's happening is divine. The divine is rearranging your spirit from the inside out. You were never meant to stay in the shell of who you were. Growth demands discomfort. Evolution requires endings. And the version of you that is emerging will not ask for permission to exist. They will simply walk in power and peace. The pain you're feeling? It's the shedding, the detachment, the disintegration of illusions. It's uncomfortable because you're outgrowing everything that was never really yours. And once this process is complete, you'll stand taller, think clearer, walk stronger. The old you is dying, so the chosen you can rise. There is a sound that only the soul can hear, a call that whispers not to your ears, but to your spirit. At first, it's subtle. You feel it in moments of silence, in your dreams, in the restless stirrings of your heart. But once you truly hear it, you can never return to who you were before. The call awakens something ancient inside of you. It reminds you that you are chosen. You start to notice signs, repeating numbers, sudden intuition, moments of déjà vu that feel like echoes from another dimension. You question your reality. You feel drawn to things that once seemed strange, purpose, solitude, truth. These are not coincidences. These are confirmations. You didn't imagine this. You're being summoned. You're being prepared. You're being marked. What makes this call so powerful is that no one else can hear it for you. It's yours alone. Friends won't understand. Family might pull away, but the voice within keeps repeating, "There's more." And you know it's true. You've always felt different, always sensed you were meant for something deeper. The call doesn't make you better. It makes you aware. The more you try to ignore it, the louder it becomes. your old life starts to feel fake. Your job, your relationships, your daily routines, they all begin to lose their meaning. That's because the call is shaking your foundation. Not to destroy you, but to rebuild you. You're not meant to stay safe. You're meant to awaken. And the call is your invitation to rise. This is why you've been restless, why you've been searching, why nothing feels the same anymore. You're not lost. You're being rerouted. Chosen ones don't stumble into purpose. They are called into it. And now, the call is inside you, echoing through every part of your being, guiding you toward a destiny that your past self could never imagine. There's a sacred silence that surrounds those on the path of awakening. You may feel abandoned, forgotten, like no one sees your growth, your pain, or your effort. But this isolation isn't punishment. It's preparation. It's the divine pulling you away from noise so you can finally hear your own soul speak. You are not being left behind. You are being set apart. It's in these seasons of solitude that the greatest transformations occur. When the world goes quiet, you're forced to confront yourself, your beliefs, your wounds, your patterns. There are no distractions here, no applause, no validation, just you and the truth. And while it's uncomfortable, it's also the only place where rebirth becomes possible. The chosen ones are always pulled into the wilderness before they're sent into the world. You're not ready to lead until you've walked through the shadows alone. In the stillness, your discernment sharpens, your vision becomes clearer. You learn to depend on something greater than people, on faith, on intuition, on divine guidance. That's what makes you unshakable. People may misunderstand you. They'll say you're distant, different, detached. Let them. They don't understand what it takes to carry spiritual weight. Not everyone is supposed to walk this road with you. Some connections expire as your calling expands. That's not bitterness. It's alignment. Only those who resonate with your soul's frequency will remain. So don't rush the season of isolation. Don't fight the silence. Lean into it, because when this phase is over, you'll emerge refined. Not everyone will recognize the version of you that comes out, but you will, and you'll thank the silence for shaping you into someone unstoppable. There's a shift happening deep within you. It's not just in your mind, it's in your energy, your aura, your entire being. You no longer react to things the same way. What once triggered you now teaches you. What once tempted you now repels you. This isn't a phase. It's a spiritual upgrade. Your soul is ascending to a higher vibration, and everything misaligned is falling away. You're becoming more sensitive to energy. You feel drained around certain people, uneasy in specific spaces, alert to things others ignore. That's not anxiety. That's spiritual awareness. You are tuning in to dimensions beyond logic. Your inner world is guiding you more than the outside world. You're learning that not everything deserves your access, attention, or presence. As your spirit upgrades, your external world begins to shift too. Opportunities close because they're beneath you. Relationships end because they no longer match your frequency. Doors shut because they lead to distraction, not destiny. And it's hard. It feels like loss. But in truth, it's liberation. The universe is removing everything you've outgrown to make space for what aligns. You might feel exhausted, emotional, even confused. That's normal. Spiritual upgrades often come with soul fatigue. Your body is catching up to your spirit. Your nervous system is detoxing from old timelines. You're not broken. You're being recalibrated. Rest, hydrate, Listen, honor the process. This is sacred work. The person you're becoming can't function with the same habits, thoughts, or people that the old you tolerated. This version of you is clearer, calmer, more connected to the divine. You're starting to trust your inner voice more than the crowd. And that, right there, is the sign of a chosen one leveling up. Something inside of you has shifted. You're no longer asking for permission to exist. You're no longer toning yourself down to make others feel comfortable. For so long, you dimmed your light to avoid attention, to avoid judgment, to stay safe. But not anymore. Now, you're standing in your truth. You're becoming bold, clear, and unapologetically aligned with who you really are. You've realized that shrinking yourself doesn't serve anyone. Hiding your potential only delays your purpose. You were never meant to blend in. You were designed to stand out. And while that may threaten some people, it liberates you. You're learning that you don't need to explain yourself to anyone who isn't meant to walk with you. You're not here to please the crowd. You're here to fulfill your calling. There's a newfound clarity in your voice. You speak with intention. You move with purpose. You no longer second-guess your instincts or suppress your dreams. You trust yourself in ways you never did before. That trust isn't arrogance. It's awakening. It's what happens when your soul stops waiting for outside approval and starts honoring its own wisdom. Of course, this shift comes with friction. Some people won't recognize you anymore. They'll say you've changed, and you have. You've grown. You've evolved. You've stopped living for others and started living from your truth. That makes people uncomfortable. Let it. You weren't born to be palatable. You were born to be powerful. You're not becoming someone new. You're becoming who you always were before the world told you to be quiet, small, or agreeable. This version of you isn't louder. It's freer. It doesn't ask for love. It radiates it. It doesn't chase alignment. It embodies it. And that version of you is unstoppable. There's a disconnection growing between you and the world around you. The conversations, the media, the noise, it all feels shallow now. You used to find comfort in fitting in being part of the flow. But now, you crave silence, depth, meaning. That's not you being antisocial. That's your soul waking up to what's real. You see through things now. The illusions, the distractions, the fake smiles. It's like your eyes have adjusted to a new light, and now you can't unsee the truth. You notice manipulation where you once saw entertainment. You hear emptiness where you once heard excitement. It's not the world that changed. It's you. You've started questioning everything. The systems, the narratives, the expectations. You no longer accept things at face value. You investigate. You feel. You discern. You've stopped following the crowd because you finally trust your own inner compass. That's the mark of the awakened. You're not detached. You're elevated. This distance can feel lonely at times. It's hard to relate to people who are still asleep. You speak with fire, and they hear noise. You share truth, and they feel attacked. But don't let that pull you back. You're not meant to resonate with a world built on illusion. You're meant to rise above it and show others the way. What you're feeling is not alienation, it's ascension. You're moving into a space where the world no longer defines you, where peace becomes louder than applause, where truth becomes more important than comfort. You're not here to adapt to the world. You're here to help rebuild it. Everything you went through wasn't meant to break you. It was meant to awaken you. The pain, the betrayal, the silence, the loss. It wasn't punishment. It was preparation. You were being refined, not rejected. What felt like destruction was actually construction. The chosen are always initiated through suffering, because the fire that hurt you is the same fire that forged you. There were moments you thought you wouldn't make it, nights where you cried silently, wondering why it had to be you. But now, looking back, you realize those nights built strength in you that no comfort ever could. That loneliness carved space for divine connection. That disappointment taught you what false love felt like, so you'd recognize real love when it came. Pain has a way of showing you your own power. Every time you were knocked down, you got back up stronger, quieter, and more intentional. You didn't become cold. You became clear. You stopped giving your energy to chaos. You stopped explaining your worth. And you started walking with a knowing that cannot be taught, only earned. Now you carry something sacred, not bitterness, but wisdom, not resentment, but discernment. People see your calm and call it peace, but they don't realize it was born through fire. You've endured storms that would have drowned others, and now you carry that power in your presence, that strength in your silence, that grace in your gaze. Your wounds are not your weakness. They're your authority. Every scar tells a story of survival, of rebirth, of sacred transformation. You weren't being punished. You were being purified. And the version of you that emerged from that pain, that's the warrior the world has been waiting for. There's something stirring in your soul. A memory, a knowing, a truth that feels ancient. You're starting to remember who you were before the world told you who to be, before fear was taught, before your light was dimmed. This isn't reinvention, it's remembrance, a return to your original essence. It comes in waves, a sudden burst of intuition, a pull towards something unexplainable. A moment of déjà vu that shakes your core. You feel like you've been here before, like you've always known you were different. And now, all those feelings are rising to the surface, not to confuse you, but to confirm you. You're shedding false identities. The masks, the roles, the titles, they no longer define you. You've worn many versions of yourself just to survive. But now, survival is not enough. You crave authenticity. You crave truth. And your soul is guiding you back to the core of who you are. Powerful, purposeful, divine. This awakening may feel disorienting. The old world doesn't fit, and the new one isn't fully built yet. You're in between identities, no longer who you were, not yet who you're becoming. That's okay. Don't rush it. You're being realigned with your original blueprint, and once it locks in, everything will begin to flow with divine precision. You didn't come here to live a small, forgettable life. You came to remember, to awaken, to activate. The more you let go of who you thought you were, the more you step into who you truly are. And that version of you, the real you, was never lost, only hidden, until now. There's a new energy around you. It's quiet, but commanding. You no longer need to prove yourself, because your presence alone speaks volumes. You've been through too much to walk timidly. The way you move now, the way you speak, the way you observe, it carries spiritual weight. People may not understand what changed, but they feel it. You've stepped into a realm of authority that cannot be faked. You've been stripped of distractions, lies, and illusions. What remains is truth, and truth is power. You don't argue with people anymore. You don't chase validation. You don't explain your soul to minds that can't comprehend it. That's not pride. That's maturity. That's alignment. That's what it looks like when someone walks with divine awareness. You've become a mirror. Your presence triggers people. Some will be inspired. Others will be intimidated. That's not your responsibility. You were never meant to make everyone comfortable. You were meant to walk in truth, and truth disrupts what's false. When you walk in spiritual authority, your silence is louder than noise. Your stillness shakes foundations. This authority didn't come easy. You earned it in the wilderness, in the nights of loneliness, in the moments when you had nothing but faith. Now, that experience lives inside you. That pain became your power. That waiting became your wisdom. And it shows in everything you do, even if you say nothing at all. You're not just another voice. You're a frequency, a vibration, a presence that cannot be copied. And the deeper you walk in this power, the less you'll need to speak. Your life, your light, your alignment will speak for you. That's what happens when the chosen fully embody who they are. They walk, and the atmosphere responds. All this time, you thought you were changing. But the truth is, you are returning to your core, your calling, your divine design. You're not becoming someone new. You're remembering the version of you that existed before fear, trauma, and survival shaped your personality. You're peeling back the layers of who the world told you to be, and revealing the truth of who you really are. It feels unfamiliar because you've never lived this way before. Unfiltered, unapologetic, and fully aligned. But deep down, it feels right, peaceful, empowering. That's because you're finally home within yourself. The inner conflict is fading. The self-doubt is dissolving. And what's emerging is someone deeply rooted in truth and guided by purpose. This version of you doesn't need permission. It doesn't need approval. It doesn't seek to be liked. It seeks to be real. You move slower now, more intentionally. You're not reacting, you're responding. You're not performing, you're existing. And every step you take from this place creates ripples far beyond what you can see. The world around you may not know how to handle this new version. That's okay. You didn't come to be understood. You came to fulfill something sacred. And that mission is finally activating. You'll begin to notice that everything aligns. Conversations, opportunities, people. Not because you chased them, but because you became the version of yourself that attracts them. You've crossed a line now. There's no going back to smallness, to fear, to pretending. You've seen too much, grown too much, awakened too much. From here on out, every choice, every breath, every moment becomes a reflection of your true self. You've arrived, not at a destination, but at your identity, and nothing will ever be the same. And now, take a deep breath. Because if you've made it this far, you already know. You are not who you were when this video started. You're shedding old identities. You're rising into your calling. You're walking the chosen path. This isn't the end. This is your beginning. Let me ask you, which part of this message awakened something in you the most? Was there a moment that felt like a mirror to your soul? Drop your thoughts in the comments. Share your truth. And let the world know you're one of the few who heard the call. Type "the chosen path" in the comments if you're ready to walk it. We're building something bigger here, a tribe of awakened souls. And you're not alone anymore. See you in the next message. Stay aligned. Stay chosen.